YouTube, we're off mute. I always forget to check that. Okay. View tab, stop sharing. I think we're sharing the right things. Rosa's eating a salad. Rosa, what's your business? Talk to me in the chat. What do you do? Facebooker, I see there's someone on here with us. I can't see who you are, but talk to me. Let me know who you are and what you do. I love a good conversation, y'all. And then we'll jump into a little bit about grants. But while you got me here, you're welcome. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet me. You said mental health. What mental health? What in mental health shall I say? Anyone else have businesses they want to tell me about? Look at that skin. Y'all gotta appreciate this glow. Shoot. But talk to me. What y'all do? Put it in the chat. What is your business? Tell me about the business or the idea that you have to start a business that you could see yourself really winning a grant for. Like you could really use some financial assistance, some funding in this area. If you're someone who has like multiple businesses or multiple ideas to start a business, pick one. Prioritize all the businesses or the ideas that you have. Tell me about that one business that you got going on or you want to have coming up soon. I'll just get my hair still wet. Make sure it's not down. But give me that first idea. Pick the one that needs the most funding or the one that needs funding first that you want to win a grant for, and tell me about that in the chat. What do you do? This is one of the most frequently asked questions on any small business grant application. And so they're going to ask you what you do. And so let's talk about what you do. um, Let me answer some frequently asked questions about grants as well, because a lot of people think you got to be nonprofit. You don't. You can be for profit and win a grant. You can be a new business and win a grant. You can be in your startup era where things are not quite off the ground yet and win a grant. So you can apply for as many grants as you would like. You can win as many grants as you would like. If you have multiple businesses, you can win multiple grants for each of those businesses. It's usually just not at the same time. So I'm here to chat with you a little bit about what grants could look like for you if you're interested in winning them for your business. I have personally won over $1 million in grants and grant funded opportunities. And my mentees over at blackwomenandgrants.com have won over $349,000 in grants within the last few months. So there's money out there. It is available for you and for your business. Yes, you can win a grant. Yes, you can win a grant for the type of business that you have. The most creative grants I have seen are for graveyards, for funeral homes or mortuaries. So I think you good. I think you are right. So tell me about your business in the chat. Now that you know you can win a grant, you don't have to be nonprofit, and that there is funding for your business, even if it's a new business, even if you haven't made as much money as you would like in that business, there are grants available. Okay. Rosa says, I would like to help young youth build skills for leadership in the low, I think that should be income areas, if I'm reading it right. Oh, I see it. Low income areas. Thank you, Rosa. So, Rosa, have you started looking for grants or like looking into them? Welcome, Jen. How are you? This is for those of you who have for-profit businesses, and so we were just about to get into how this area is different than nonprofits. It's actually better. It's easier to apply for funding. So you don't have to be a nonprofit to win grants, and you can win a grant as a for-profit. There is money out there. Our money does not come from nonprofit grants. It doesn't come from federal funding. It doesn't come from government grants. We're in the for-profit space, so we're getting funded from banks. So think of like Bank of America, Regions Bank, Chase Bank, Wells Fargo, J.P. Morgan Chase. I'm trying to think of all the banks I've seen on my checks and my clients' checks and behind our grant funded opportunities like sponsorships and scholarships to go through incubator and accelerator and fellowship programs. But the FedExes, UPS, Office Depot, Office Max, Goldman Sachs, Visa, American Express, MasterCard, the list goes on. So that's where our funding comes from. It's usually from foundations, organizations, associations, and corporations. So this is where the money resides. Has anyone here tried to apply for a grant before? Rosa says she's still reading. What you reading, Rosa? Let me know. Has anyone here ever either gotten access to a website with a list of grants or found an application that someone sent them and they're applying? You said you're still reading our work. So you're in our mentorship, right? Let me know. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm actually about to do our numbers, but it's like 700 of y'all there. And so the more I see you on our lives, the more it'll kick in. This is Rosa from the mentorship. Okay. Thank you, girl. And you may have to remind me again because my brain is in a lot of places right now. I run 2 companies. And so I only get more and more familiar with you guys as you join me on the lives, or if you're taking advantage of our email access and sending me messages. That's how I know who is who. So you new here. Welcome. The more I see you, the more familiar I can become with you and your business. I know it's like one of those days. I think it's going to rain. I'm not sure, but I'm holding my promise to myself to show up here today. So consistency is key, right? So I'm here for you today, Rosa. I'm here for our 2 people tuning in on YouTube. Say hey in the chat. Y'all talk to me. Let me know you can hear me. We had some people popping on our Facebook here. So if you're new, welcome. Just tell me about your business really quick. I know you want to know if there is a grant. Hey, Kendra. Hey, Paddock. Hey, you say you hear an echo. Does anyone else hear an echo? Let me know. I think the only people that should hear an echo is maybe YouTube, because I'm streaming on YouTube into TikTok. They let me share my screen, so it makes it easier because they don't give me the video option every time. So TikTok is seeing, or YouTube is seeing our TikTok screen, but I can see their YouTube chat as well as our TikTok chat. So Patty Cake, you may have to log out and come back in. Lord. So if you're here, really quick, in the comments, y'all see that chat button or that comment button? Tell me about your business. What do you do? I only know one person's business here. Rosa's. She says she's in mental health. Anybody else want to tell me about their business that they want to win a grant for, so that I can help you out, point you in the right direction? Even if you think I already know what you do, you told me before, girl, tell me again, because literally nothing's on my mind right now. Trying to breathe. That's about it. So remind me, what do you do? If you never told me before, tell me now. If you told me before, girl, tell me again, child. Get used to answering this question, because it's on every small business grant application. Kendra owns a bookkeeping business. Kendra, do you serve? Tell me who you serve. Like, who are your clients usually? Hi, Jessica Yates on Facebook. YouTube, are you there? Anybody there want to tell me what you do in your Black woman-owned for-profit small business? I see we have some viewers there. No one's talking to me yet, though, so I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing anyone's answers. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Dr. AJ Austin, founder of BlackWomenInGrants.com, where I help Black women for-profit small business owners find, apply for, and win grants. Okay. Kendra helps small businesses. Really quick, let's do a little teaching. Let's play a game. Put a number between 1 and 35 in the chat, and whoever is the first to place it wins this contest, and you're going to get to choose our topic of the night. Thank you, Kay Witt. So she says 15, and we have 35 topics. That's why I said 1 through 35. How to get selected for a grant. Y'all want to talk about that? I know you do. So I'm looking through my papers here. It's a stack of them, y'all. So bear with me. They're not numbered yet. What I'm really doing behind the scenes is writing my fourth book about grants. And so I have taken tons of notes. That's how I know when it's time to write another book. And these are my notes. So they start out like this. They used to be on note cards. I moved up to notebook paper. And then now they're becoming pages in a book. The fourth book I've written about grants. My other 3 books are in our mentorship program over at blackwomeningrants.com. Let me find my pen and label this. This is our number 15 here. Okay. Let's dive into it. Thank you, Kay Witt. So let me know if y'all ready to talk about this. How to get selected for a grant. It's really easy. It's 4 different tips, okay? Kay Witt says, so the grant writing changes every year. I'm not sure about grant writing, Kay Witt. We apply for grants versus quote unquote write grants. Grant writing or grant proposal writing and all of that is for nonprofits. We're in the for-profit space. So we're not writing grants. We're simply applying for grants, and every grant application is different. So I'm not sure if that's what you were asking, but let me know if you have more questions. Anybody else ready to dive into 4 ways to get selected for a grant? Put the number 4 in the chat, and I'm happy to dive deeper. Now, I hope you got a notebook. I hope y'all got questions. This is engagement. My lives, you should show up with journals, notebooks. If I got to take notes, y'all do too, okay? So, and I teach deep. I answer your questions. And the beauty of being on my lives, I'm usually live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I also come live on Saturdays from 10 to 10. No specific time, just, as the spirit leads before the sun go down, But bring your journals and your ideas, your thoughts about grants for your business, because I'm able to teach you deeply on these topics, having won over $1 million in grants and grant funded opportunities, but also help customize it to what you do. So that's why I keep asking y'all in the chat, tell me what you do. Then I also understand everybody's not serious about grants. Some people are just here to be nosy. That's fine too. But I'm going to talk to those of you who talk to me, okay? I'm happy to help those of you who would like my help. So let's talk about number 1. Now, I'm a small business grant winner time after time. So much so I got bored, y'all. And I said, I'm ready to teach this and help other Black women. And so now, in addition to me winning over $1 million, I've helped 700 women in my mentorship program right now over at blackwomeningrants.com. There's a scholarship to come join my mentorship as well. I'll be telling you more about that. But if you want to go be nosy, claim your scholarship before I go. There are some bonus prizes in it for you today. So hang out with me. My website is blackwomeningrants.com, by the way, to go get signed up, claim your scholarship, and learn about your bonuses as we go along tonight. blackwomeningrants.com. Okay. I also study small business grant winners. I love to see, especially Black women, win these grants for their for-profit businesses. So as Tony Robbins says, success leaves clues, right? So if I'm studying small business grant winners, I'm a small business grant winner. I'm studying small business grants as well. Like I'm literally behind the scenes reading their terms and conditions, the fine print, the legalese, the legal talk, thee, thou, though, thus. I grew up on King James Version of the Bible, so I understand, okay? So I take my time and I read through this stuff because I know how it works. I've been I won my first round of funding at 9 years old, and over time have won over $1 million. So I'm familiar with like the terms. We call them rules, restrictions, and regulations. And so they're going to tell you the rules of the game, how to win a grant. But every grant is different. However, these 4 categories will keep you in line for how to win, like on a surface level. But as I mentioned, my goal is to go deep with y'all. So y'all talk to me, ask me questions, and then go claim your scholarship to come work with me closer, customizing what we call your grant application strategy, or GAS. We put a little gas on your grant application process, help you fill in that gap, GAP. Amen. Danny on YouTube says, looking to start a mental health coaching business. Love it. And she's a DJ, also looking to start an entertainment company. Love it. So here's the number one way, and it's really in no particular order. It's just as I thought of it. How to get selected for a grant, because a lot of people are looking for grants. You want to know how to win grants? Make sure you got these four things. Number one is feasibility. Feasibility. So not only is a grant going to ask you, what do you do? And you got to be super clear, super specific, super succinct with what the grant is looking for, because they have a goal of the types of businesses they want to award. Real quick, tell me if y'all meet these qualifications. You're black. Just put something in the chat. If you meet this, you're black, right? You woke up that way. You can't help it, can't wipe it off. Anybody? Am I talking to my people? Let me know. You're a woman. And now, what we're seeing evolve in the grant space is they're opening up more space for non-binary and trans, LGBTQIA, disabled, veteran. It's another category, but these are loopholes, workarounds, because we had an incident maybe about a year and a half ago where two males won grants for Black women, and they found the loophole, the non-binary, the etc. So I'm new to all of that. I'm learning how it works, and it's different for every grant. So my goal is to bring this in with you. So I say all of that because if you're black, you're a woman, you have a for-profit small business. We're not helping nonprofits. It's easy to go find people who help nonprofits win grants. Okay, you don't need me for that. But if you're a black woman with a for-profit small business and you're willing to meet the other qualifications for these grant fundings, then you in here. So we already halfway. It's 8 things, and I always forget one. So work with me. Black woman, for-profit, small business owner. Everybody here either has a business or wants to start a business, right? Let me know in the chat. Where y'all at? We halfway there. Black woman, for-profit, small business owner, either now or somewhere in the near future, because you can apply for grants, but you can't apply for them just for working capital or money that you win that'll sit in your bank account that you'll someday get to. They want to know that you got either a working idea or an idea that's already out there that you launched. Okay, so black woman, for-profit, small business owner, either now or in the future. You're based in the United States. I know other countries join us, from the UK, from Africa, etc. I only know about the United States because that's where I've been all my life. Okay, this is where these grants are based, in the United States. Now, your business must be based here, but you can live abroad. We have a lady with a traveling business, so she spends months in different countries, but her company is based here. So they'll tell you need to be a US based business. So black woman, for-profit, small business owner based in the United States. Over the age of 18. 18 is the minimum age that you must be to win a grant. Everybody over 18, y'all don't have to tell me your age. You don't have to tell me what year you was born. You don't listen. Keep that to yourself, okay? However, black woman, for-profit, small business owner based in the United States over the age of 18. Y'all got it? But got it in the chat if you got it. We got 2 more. These are the basic qualifications to win a grant as a black woman, for-profit, small business owner based in the United States over the age of 18. Kendra got it. Anybody else got it? Y'all listening? Let me know. We're number 6 of 8. Here's a tough one for some people, but let's see if you're really paying attention. I keep repeating it. I know somebody's still gonna ask me, what was it again? I'm not gonna repeat it, so I'm trying to make sure y'all following. Black woman, for-profit, small business owner over the age of 18 based in the United States. Own at least 51% of your business. Danny says she got it. Thank you, girl. Own at least 51% of your business. So if you have a partnership and it's a 50-50 split, you do not qualify for majority of the grants out there, okay? 51% and up. It could be 100%. That's fine. as long as you own at least 51% and up of your business, because what that means is you're the boss, you're the founder, you're the decision maker, you're the contract signer, the check writer, the check signer. They need one name on this grant when they write the checks, when they send the tax forms. They just want one name and the business name. So as long as you own at least 51% of your business, they'll tell you that. You'll see it said as long as it's majority, minority, woman owned. They word it different, but it means 51% owner. Okay. So if you got a partnership, work that out to where you get that 51%. You are the founder. You make all the decisions. You're the boss. They want to talk to one person. They don't want to jump through hoops, have to get a lot of permission. Who the boss? Who name we put on this check? That's all I want. So Black woman, for-profit, small business owner based in the United States, over the age of 18, own at least 51% of your business, and you need a grant. Anybody here need a grant? Put the word grant in the chat. I'm going to break down what grants are. Just tell me that you need a grant, and let's go from there, okay? We're still on number 1 of the 4 ways to get selected for a grant. But what is a grant? A grant is free money. It is free funding to start, sustain, or scale a business. It is money that is gifted, given, granted unto you. It's other people's money, OPM. If you want other people's money, just put OPM in the chat real quick. Just make sure we're on the same page. We're dialoguing. OPM, anybody? OPM means that you're tired of paying out of your pocket, or you don't even want to pay out of your pocket. You ain't even started your business yet. You like get somebody else to do it. So for every moment that you're not applying for funding for your business, you are literally still paying out of pocket when you could be using other people's money, or OPM. Shouts out to my mentor, Russell Brunson. That's his term, but I use it. I love it because it works. We like other people's money. It like money spends different. It feels gooder when it's somebody else's, right? When somebody else is paying the bill. Okay. So now that we know what grants are, now that we know you can win a grant, now that we know that you qualify, you're eligible. So if you've ever said, I don't know where to start, it's overwhelming, I don't know what questions to ask, I shut down, can I really do this? Do I need a grant writer? You do not need a grant writer to apply for and win funding in a for-profit space, okay? And so this is letting you know that this is a skill you can learn and master and go out and apply anytime you want to win free funding, aka OPM, for your Black woman for-profit small business based here in the US. Everybody got it, just put got it. And I can tell you the second part of number 1, getting selected for the grants. Because again, we know you're eligible. We know there are grants available. There are grants everywhere. You can go do a quick Google search for small business grants, or grants for Black women, or grants for your type of business, etc. And you'll find funding from your hometown to bigger cities, to your state, to global, to international funding opportunities. They are available. Okay. So in addition to you telling a grant that you got a business that you have, or that you want to start, or you're looking to sustain a business, scale it a little bit, they're going to say, well, how feasible not only is your idea, like we need to know that you got a business, you're working it, it's a great idea, people want it, they're willing to pay. So 2 phases, they're going to ask if you're in your business. There are only 2 phases of businesses that grants are interested in. You're either one or the other. You're never both, and you're never in between. Number 1 is the startup phase. Startup phase is when your idea is still up here in that brain of yours, that big, beautiful Black woman brain is here on a piece of paper. I'm right-handed. I'm trying to do this with my left hand. It may be on your Bapurda, as my little niece used to call computers. So maybe you have some stuff saved in the cloud. Maybe it's in some Word documents. Maybe it's in your phone on a note app, a thread of emails. Anybody in the startup phase, put startup in the chat. You really don't have a product or a service out there. You're not making money yet. No one's really, signed up yet because you really haven't launched. You're still in beta. You're still in, what do you call it? Prototype. You're still working out the kinks before you release it. That's startup. Anybody here in the startup phase? Because if you're in the startup phase, you need to be applying for what's known as startup grants. Startup grants. Anybody here need a startup grant? That's your OPM, or other people's money, in the form of a startup grant. Anybody here in the startup phase need a startup grant? Just put startup in the chat. Right, startup. Startup could be you've been in business for less than a year. That could be startup as well. So depending on the grant, they're going to define it different ways, but you're going to see these words: startup, It could be depending on how much money you've made or how long you've been in business consistently. Because some people start businesses, take a break, and then come back. Okay. Phase two, and again, you're either a startup or this phase. It's not in between, and you're never more than one, regardless. Okay. And it's all going to be dependent on how the grant defines it, but you want to know what to expect. Started is the second phase. Put started in the chat. If you started your business, you're making money, you've made sales from your product, from your service, it's proven. People love it. They will pay you for it because they have. You got testimonials, you got videos, you got emails and text messages thanking you for this product or service. You got your business taxes, your profit and loss statements. You got proof, aka receipts, that you're making money in your business from your idea for your product or service. Just put started in the chat if you've started your business. Any starteds. If you started your business, you need to be applying for what's known as a growth grant. Growth grant. Growth grants, kind of like new growth. For those of you who have hair, I used to have hair back in the day, a little bit. But when you get braids and they grow out a little bit, you start playing with that new growth, that little crinkle, till you go back and sit in that salon chair and get them braids tightened or freshened, whatever. Growth. Think of new growth when you think of growth grants. That's for those of you who have started a business. Anybody here need a growth grant because you started your business? You've kind of grown. Hey, we're Black women. K-Wit. Anyway, I had to find stuff relatable for us. Okay. But that new growth grant, I bet y'all gonna remember that new growth grant. My head itching now. I'm planning. Growth grants are for those of you who have started businesses, and the qualifications are going to be different than a startup grant. So I'm talking to you about the types of grants because you want to make sure you're applying for the right type of grant for your Black woman-owned for-profit small business based here in the United States, over the age of 18, and own at least 51% of your business. I know you know what I'm talking about, K-Wit. I know. That's why I see this safe space for Black women. We can talk like that. Okay. So growth grants are for those of you who have made some money. Maybe it's not as much as you would like to make, but you've kind of gotten yourself as far as you could. And you're like, I need OPM, other people's money. We slipping back into me paying for stuff and it's stressing me out. I need other people's money. What a grant said. So those are the two types of grants. Startup grants if you're a startup, and growth grants if you have started. Okay. And it matters because you don't want to be applying for grants you don't qualify for. If you're in the started phase, you may be too overqualified for a startup grant. If you're in the startup phase, you may be underqualified for a growth grant. They're going to ask you for proof of your business sales, profit and loss, revenue, expenses, etc., taxes. And you got to be ready. Y'all got it? Put got it, because I'm about to tell you this next thing. We still on number one, y'all. I told you I teach deep about this stuff. It's not stuff that I've heard or really learned from anybody else. It's stuff that I study, and I know for sure that this is what you're going to encounter as you start applying for grants, okay? We'll get into some Q&A in a minute, but these are the basics, and I dive deeper into the basics in my mentorship over at blackwomenandgrants.com. There is a scholarship to come learn deeper with me in between these TikTok lives. It's over at blackwomenandgrants.com. So the scholarships are first come, first serve. So go check it out. Be nosy, grab your spot. And then there are bonuses for those of you who join me tonight. And I'll tell you all about the bonuses in just a minute. But if you want to creep over there, claim your spot, be nosy. Again, the website is www.blackwomenandgrants.com. Now, you prove to a grant you got an idea for a business in the startup phase. You prove to a grant that you've already started a business and you're ready for OPM or other people's money. You got a feasible idea that people want, because they're going to ask you, how do you know your business is working? Prove it. Then they're going to say, well, if we give you this grant, how feasible is it for you really to use the money to do good in the hood? Let's dive deeper into that, because really what they want to know is, how far will our money take you? How far can you stretch these grant dollars? So they want to know not about your business, not about how great you are, not about how much money you've made necessarily, but they're going to say, if we asked you to tell us about what you're doing for or in your community already as a business owner, what would y'all say? Tell me about some projects y'all got going on where you're volunteering, you're giving discounted services, you're helping students, you're helping the elderly, you're helping veterans, the disabled, you're in rural communities, you're working with low income, you're working with people from disadvantaged backgrounds, you're working with the underserved, the underfunded. These are all key words that should be on your small business grant application. Anybody already got something like that going on in your business? We call that social impact or community impact. Anybody already doing something like that? I'm here with y'all tonight, 7:51 on a Saturday, talking about grants for your Black woman-owned for-profit small business. And I ain't charge y'all to be here, and I get paid to do this. Social impact, giving back. Is anyone currently giving back in their business? Rose is here with me. Does anyone need help with what that should look like? Just put help in the chat and we can talk. Said not yet. Give me some ideas of like a charity or a cause. Maybe you're part of a church or a community that's really near and dear to your heart. And you're like, when I get money, or if I could just give a grant, I would give a portion. Y'all remember back in the day on TV where it says a portion of the proceeds goes to blah, blah, blah. What would be that portion of the proceeds, cause, charity, community type impact that you would want to have? Like, throw some stuff out there. Is it the youth? Is it the elderly or seniors? Is it, again, low income? Is it single moms? Is it, I don't want to, y'all tell me, where's your heart? And I can have more to work with how to start winning grants because of your community impact. TikTok is graying out a lot of y'all's comments. I don't even know. They have a lot of them in the queue. I got to approve. Okay. K Witt says help. Rosa says help, help, help. AA says help. K Witt says I'm a part of a church that gives scholarships for college students. So what is your part in that? Like, how does you or your business contribute to that? Me First says elderly, seniors, and low income. Okay. Rosa says, I would like to provide tutoring to children who are struggling in education. Love it. Lala on YouTube. Thank you, girl, for participating in the discussion. She says youth and single moms. How would y'all help? So let's say you won a grant for $10,000. And they said, okay, you got to give 10% back to the hood. This is what I call all of these social causes. We got to go help the hood, okay? I'm helping the hood right now, being here with y'all, sitting in the hood helping the hood. What would you do specifically for you, Lala? How would you take $1,000? That's 10% of our $10,000 win to help youth and single moms. Rosa, how would you take your $1,000 to provide or to help you provide tutoring for the children who are struggling in education? Me First, how would you do that for the elderly, for seniors, for low income? Like, what would be your project? This is called your community impact, your social impact. You can call it your social purpose. But what it is showing a grant how, as a business owner, you also have a cause that is married into your business that you're like, I'm not the only one that's going to come up here. I'm bringing others with me. Who you bringing and how? Because that's considered a project, and grants fund projects. They also fund, you getting your business started and sustained, but they also going to ask you, what are you doing to help the hood? So let's talk about it. So if they say they will never give you a specific amount you got to give away, but I teach my mentees to help in that way. 10%. I believe in the tithe, 10%. So let's take 10% and get back. That's what I did with my very first grant that I won for my business in 2020. And let's see. It was for $1,000. I won it for my business during, that whole year we was in the house boarding the house. So there was a couple who were giving away $20,000. They were looking for 20 businesses to give $1,000 to. I was number 17. I'm like, I could have been number 20, would have been just as happy. But I took 10% of that 1,000 and gave $100 back to the single mother and her 2 kids. She was actually pregnant during that time, but she shared that list of grants with me, and I gave her $100. I sowed a seed back to the hood. We lived right down the street from each other. And so that was just a thank you for introducing me to this new world, this whole new secret economy. And I went on now to bring in over six figures, multiple six figures in grants just for my business. I've won $1 million over time in my personal life and my professional life. And the women that I'm now teaching in my mentorship have won over $349,460. So that knowledge is multiplying, that gift is multiplying, that seed, that community impact is multiplying. And so the ladies in my mentorship who are winning grants are now learning how to create their own social impacts as well. Who are y'all bringing with you? That's what's going to win you grants, okay? Not just because you're a Black woman with a business and you need money. So what is the group that is near and dear to your heart that you want to help as you win grants, that you will be willing to donate 10% of your winnings? So in this scenario, we've won a $10,000 grant. We're giving back 10%. And by the way, when you tell a grant, that's what you're going to do with the funding. You climb in ranking, literal scores on your grant application. They grade you. And so if you've ever wondered how to win a grant, how to get selected, how to stand out from the competition, is it saturated? None of that matters when you got the right social impact. And so your goal is to make it to the top of that pile of the hundreds or maybe even thousands of applications. Your competitors are people who are literally applying for that same funding you're going to be applying for, but you have social impact, so you're going to stand out. So tell me more about how you would help the hood. What would y'all do? So Lala, I'm waiting on your answer. Rosa says she would first provide books and school supplies that they may need. I love it. Kay Witt says she wants to give scholarships to students also. So talk about how you could do that with 1,000. So let's play with this scenario because I've done it before, so I can help y'all focus. So here in Atlanta, I'm partnered with 2 universities and they have career days. And so I go and set up a booth to tell some of the graduating students about my business and how they can come and help at events or serve and give back or whatever. They can just come serve, get volunteer hours. Some of the colleges offer college credits where they have to go. I forgot what they call that, but you have to go out into the community, find a way to give back, and you get credit for that. I need to remember that name because I even had to do it to graduate. It's been years since I graduated. But I say all of that because that is a give back, right? But instead of just expecting the kids to work for free, I also would sit money to the side and I would fill up their gas tanks. I would say, send me the cost of your books and I'm going to send the money to your bookstore. Meet me at IHOP. I was known for a pop-up brunch back in the day. Meet me at the gas station. I'm going to fill up your tank and then we're going to IHOP to eat because I know you're hungry. I know you're tired of that cafeteria food. I may buy a ticket for them to go to a conference or an event or bring them as my special guest. So we would exchange goals. My goal is to have your help as my intern. Your goal is maybe you need a letter of recommendation. A lot of them were going off to get their big girl jobs for the first time. My favorite story is one of our students started here at a college in West Georgia, and she was a dancer, like a professional choreographer. And so when she graduated, she had finished her course with us. She was a phenomenal intern, and she went on to join forces with one of Beyonce's dancers. So that's just one of my favorite stories. She actually popped up on our live recently, and I was so excited to see her because it's been years. But those are the stories because I knew what her goals were. We had another intern. She had just graduated. She wanted to be a principal. And so I was a part of a group that did principal for a day in my hood. And I said, hey, I don't want to come to that. Can I send somebody? And I sent her, and she loved it. She got time to be in her ideal job for a day. So that's how you talk about what you're able to do. So with my $1,000, I would say I would pay for her gas to get out there. She had a daughter. I would pay for babysitting for her to go for a day, or I would pay for her lunch, or I would pay if they were asking for a registration fee for that event. So that's how you break down what you'll do with the funding. So those are just some quick ideas. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant, right? Even with the lady who told me about grants and I gave her $100 out of my first 1,000, she had 2 kids. She was pregnant at the time. She was able to get one of the kids enrolled in a daycare center down the street from my house. You just never know what that little bit of funding that we see it as can do for someone else. But when you tell a grant, these are the plans that I have to do with just a certain portion. And if you help me win this grant, here are my plans. And what that's showing is you're not just asking for money just to pad your pockets or to be like the big wig with a super successful business, but you're actually setting aside money to help the hood, community impact, social impact. I always laugh when I say that. I ain't calling your home a hood. I call everybody's home a hood. Amen. So, including mine. But anyway, what questions do you guys have about this? This is considered a business project, okay? A lot of people don't want to hear this. Many people are not willing to do this type of work. But if you tell a grant that you have a plan, not a concept of a plan, but you know exactly what you're going to do with the funding, and it includes bringing others with you, you are more likely to stand a higher chance of winning that grant. But a lot of people think it's just about applying for a grant, hoping and praying. We call it spraying and praying, where your fingers, eyes, and toes are crossed as you submit these applications, hoping that you win. And that ain't how you win a grant, babes. Any questions? Y'all talk to me in the chat. DTS. Kendra says help other mothers. It's hers. DTS says low income housing. Rosa says I had to do that. K Witt says targeting books and dorm expenses. Yes, I did that with a young lady. I used to work at a domestic violence shelter here in Georgia. And when her family came in, her goal was just her goal and my goal and her mom's goal, all three, was just to get her across that graduation stage. So when she graduated, I helped her get into one of my alma maters here in Atlanta. And I took her to Bed Bath & Beyond. And we spent some money because I knew everything she would need because I had been there. I'm like, put it in the buggy and I got you. And so that was my favorite thing to do. And so, yeah, you can plan out stuff like that. But I love that. Dorm expenses can get very expensive. Rosa says, I would love to get back to my HBCU. How? How would you do that? Rose says, my heart is so big, I would give it all away. Hey, nothing wrong with that either. Because it always comes back. Lala says, for the youth, I would focus on economically disadvantaged pre-K through 5. Did I read that right? And teach them critical literacy skills. And the single moms, I'm a tax preparer. Okay. And a licensed life insurance agent. So I teach them financial literacy. Love it. So yeah, when you have a project that you want to plan, like we're planning one in 2026, for those of you who are in Atlanta or want to fly in or drive in, I don't know where y'all at, but we're going to have an exclusive VIP event next April in partnership with Google. And it's my social impact event, my give back to hang out with y'all as Black women in grants. And so that's one of the bonuses for coming to join us tonight during the live in my mentorship over at blackwomeningrants.com. That's the first bonus. I'll tell y'all about the others coming up. So go over there, claim your spot. They are first come, first serve. You're not going to see the bonuses on the website. You got to join while I'm live to get the bonuses. And I know, who our joiners are, okay? But it comes with a free ticket to our Atlanta event, in addition to my mentorship program. That is our independent study course that you get 1 year's access to. And it doesn't take a year to go through it. It's 24 hours of content. I wrote 3 books for y'all already. Here's one called Finding Funding, all about how to find, apply for, and win grants. Here's another called Black Women in Grants. It's all about my clients, the last 10 that I interviewed, and how they won grants, exactly how you can follow in their footsteps and win that same amount of money. And then here's another one called The Grant Game, teaching you how to play the game, how I won my first 6 figures in funding. And it's the literal template for how you can go do it too as a Black woman with a for-profit small business. The second bonus I'm offering tonight, I'm working on book number 4, which is actually what I'm teaching y'all from. And so this is one of the topics. We only went through one of the 4 things about getting selected for grants. So y'all definitely going to have to tune back in with us. Coming up, we're going to dive deeper into these topics. I don't have time or the patience or the desire to sit and try to teach all this on TikTok. But if you want to come join us, All of this information is going to be in book number 4 that I just started 2 days ago. It's my goal for August, and I will be done before the end of August because my notes are already written out. It's just a matter of getting them on screen and hitting publish on the book. So that'll be ready by the end of this month. And that is a bonus number 2 for coming to join us in the mentorship. So I've recorded some events that I've hosted teaching about grants, what they are, what they're not, where to find them, how to make sure you're applying for the right grants, how to avoid scams because they out here. Be careful. Okay. I teach you what to look for in grants, what to look out for, and what to look forward to as you start to win these grants. And I teach you where the money resides as far as how to get them to come to you. By the way, no grant is coming to you in your social media inbox. So if anybody's in your inbox trying to sell you on paying the money, telling you that SBA is offering grants, they're about to scam you, babes. SBA does not offer grants to start or grow a business. The last time I checked their website. Okay. So be careful. Scammers are out there. You also don't need to be paying anybody to do grant applications for you. Grant applications are so simple. We're literally just filling out an online form. Sometimes they use Typeform, Google Form, Jot Form. It's very simple to fill out your name, your email address, your social medias, talk about your business, who your business helps, what you're needing funding for, what you're going to do with the funding, and hitting submit. It's a very simple process, but you just want to make sure you know what to say on these applications. And that's the skill I teach you because I'm doing it and I'm winning. And so are the 700 ladies that are already in our mentorship program over at blackwomeningrants.com. Are there any questions? Y'all let me know. Talk to me in the chat here and let me know what questions do you have about anything we've talked about so far. I got a few more moments on here with y'all tonight. We'll dive a little bit deeper, but let me know if you have any questions. So there are 4 ways to get selected for a grant. We have only dove into one, and I'll save the rest for future lives, definitely for the book. But let's answer some questions about this whole feasibility, social impact, community impact. If you need me to give you some ideas on what your social impact should look like, I'm happy to help. So even if we never see each other again in life, you can take something away from tonight's live, go use it on your grant applications and win funding. That's what our people do that attend our lives and join our mentorship. Raven Duvernay, she's a Black woman farmer in Baltimore. She attended our lives and she was like, Dr. Austin, I have been applying for funding. I'm familiar with that process, but I keep getting rejected. And I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong. And I shared one tip from our mentorship with Raven. And the next time she tuned into the live, she said, I just won $100,710. I'm sending you pictures of my check right now. The pictures of her check is on the website. So y'all check it out. See Raven, she's pointing at them beautiful 6 figures on her check that she got from a fund for specifically for farmers. They had $2 billion and she got 6 figures of that. So that's how that works. That's how I help you. What questions can I answer for you? Right, K-Wit? It's so possible. It's easier than you think. And you can do this. I'm here to help you. This is what we're doing. This is our norm. Like, it surprises me when our mentees don't win grants. We just had an incident about 2 weeks ago where one of our champions in small business pitch competitions, her name is Tay. She's a swim instructor in New York, and she wins the competitions that she's in. She wins about $1,000 a minute. So we're so used to her winning. She pitched about 2 weeks ago. They promised her $20,000. And then things changed, and she almost had me on a plane flying back to New York. Well, she was in D.C., but we was about to have a problem. Like, what do you mean? $20,000 ain't on that check. What's going on? So that's the level of confidence that I train all of my mentees to get to. You're applying for these opportunities, knowing you got a great business venture. They're calling them ventures now instead of just businesses or projects or startups. You got a venture. I love it because I'm a whole adventure by myself. So why not bring my business and y'all with me? Let go. Okay. But with her venture, it's growing. So she has a goal to reach like 30 or 300,000. She wants to build her own indoor pool. And will and can. And so she's won about 27,500 so far. And she just got started. It hasn't even been a year. So she's well on her way. She's won most of her money this year. And so she does small business pitch competitions. She won a $5,000 grant from Lenovo for a new Bapruta, that's computer in my niece's terms. She got a desktop, a laptop, a tablet, and a Fitbit, and an extra $500. She was also in the running for their $50,000 finalist prize. Let's see, she won a 60-second small business pitch competition where she won $1,000 in 60 seconds. What else? She won $5,000 for pitching for 5 minutes. So that's how we know her rate right now is about $1,000 a minute. So anytime she steps on stage and pitches her business, she's positioned to win. She will always walk away with a prize based on what I taught her in the mentorship and our time working together one-on-one. What other questions can I answer for you guys? Because the money is there. It is possible. You can win it. Brittany, Lord, she's so new. She's one of our newest winners. She joined us on the live. She joined us in the mentorship. And I tell everyone who asks, how long does it take to win a grant? Or how will I know? How long should I give it to hear back from a grant? I say when you join the mentorship, give yourself about 90 days to hear back, to win, to know what next steps are, but more importantly, to be applying consistently, because that's what it takes. Consistency. That's our secret weapon. We call that grant stacking, where we apply using our AAA formula. And so with this, Brittany did what I asked. She went through the mentorship. She followed the directions. She applied for her very first small business pitch competition right out of the mentorship 90 days later and won $15,000. Y'all can see her picture standing on stage holding her $15K check to start her new business up in Virginia. So it's very possible. It's very doable. I'm not going to say it's easy. I'm not going to say it's quick. Okay. This is not your get rich quick. This ain't no scheme that Todd set up. You got to go learn this. I'm here to teach you, cut that learning way, way down, and then answer your questions. That's one of the features of the mentorship, answering your questions about what you're learning in the program. You can send me links to grants that you're about to apply to. I give you a list of grants with over $1.2 million in funding on that list every month. Our list just came out 3 days ago. So it comes out at the top of the month. We got it early. And I've already applied to 2 grants. I applied to 2 grants yesterday for I think it was $3,000 or $3,500 total. And it's been a minute since I can sit still and apply for a grant. So I was proud of myself. But I also share that same opportunity with those in our mentorship where I know their business and I know that these opportunities that come across my desk will bless their business. I just send y'all emails and I'm like, go apply, hurry up. And that's it. That's all I say because you know what to do. So Rosa says, I may need some help with the website. So Rosa, you either factor that into the grants that you're asking for or go find somebody up at you. I don't know what you want me to tell you because me and my website be fighting. So you don't want me. Kaywood says, I am on your site. I'm trying to get scholarship. Yeah. So the scholarship pricing is what you see. It's $197. That is the scholarship price. Regular investment is $997. If you got that, I can give you the link to just go pay that $997 and get it. But if you want it for the $197, the grants that I win take care of the rest of that on the back end. So we're covering, what is that, $700 on your behalf. You don't have to worry about applying for nothing. You just sign up, pay that $197. It covers you for a full year in the mentorship, gives you access to everything there. Also, there's Klarna, there's Afterpay, and there's Affirm if you need payment arrangement options. So those are our scholarship prices. And then when you join during tonight's live, you get the bonus of my new book that comes out at the end of this month and the ticket to our Atlanta event in April of 2026, as well as a free call with me, 90 minutes, a bonus call to sit and just talk about your business, what you do, why you need a grant. And then we're going to bring all of this together to get your grant application strategy for how to go out and find the right fit for the grants you should be applying to and winning for your business. That's the scholarship with the bonuses. And the bonuses are not on the site. It's only available during my live. Yes, you can join the mentorship after the live, but if you do it now, you get all of those bonuses. The website again is blackwomeningrants.com. Thank you, Kate Witt, for saying I'm dope. I think so too. I got a shirt that says so. Rosa says I can get to your website. I can log back in. What's your question, Rosa? I want to make sure I understand it. Let me know. What other questions can I answer for you guys? Let me know. And let's talk a little bit more about y'all's businesses, why you need a grant, and how you should incorporate that social impact into what you're doing. Does anyone have any questions or any ahas that you're like, you know what? I'm so glad I tuned into this live. I did not know this stuff, or I knew it, I forgot, and I'm glad I had a refresher. Anything, whatever y'all want to talk about, let me know. I'm going to put me a cough drop in my iced water here. Rosa says, I am trying to log into the site. It's very easy, Rosa. Just send me an email, girl. I got you. Let me walk you through. I can send you an email after the live to walk you through, or I'll just resend the email that walks you through how to log in. Because once you're in, you're in. You just click the link in the last email I sent. It's very easy. I made it tech friendly because I ain't got time to set up all that stuff, but mostly for y'all to get in easier. So don't worry. As long as it's been less than a year, and I know it has for you, you're one of our newbies. Yeah, you still got access. It's easy to get back. Any questions before we wrap up? YouTube, where y'all at? Y'all quiet over there. I see y'all on here. Ask me a question based on what we're talking about. Being a Black woman with a for-profit small business. You're putting it in the chat what you do in your business. You're putting it in the chat. If a grant said, hey, you got to help the hood, give back 10%, what your project would be. And if you need my help, like mapping out what your project should be as far as your community impact, then just let me know. Just put help in the chat and I'm happy to help you. I'll just ask you some questions. You said, where those fans at? Girl, one is going, my air is on, and then I got one that's on and off on my desk. So, child, you know I be trying to make it through. Said, do you call your elected officials about grant? Not necessarily. I just chatted with my mayors. It's 2 Black women mayors here in Atlanta, one in my hometown. We're real cool. I knew her before she became mayor. And another for a city that I'm a very new resident in. And she said, come to the office or call me when you need anything. I was like, girl, tell me that. Shoot, what I need. But anyway, it starts with them because they're the head. So it may start in the mayor's office, right? But then it's going to trickle down all the way to like your local library or your rec centers. And then it's going to trickle down to the community to say, hey, who in the community wants to come teach a class at the library, at the rec center? So that's how it looks in your city. But also, let me tell you about Peaches, because she popped in the other day. She has a barbecue restaurant in Detroit. She's in the airport hub, so where people fly in, and she said she lives in a bedroom town, I think that's what she called it, where there's only hotels and rental car companies. And so her restaurant is the only one kind of still standing since the whole world shut down a couple years ago. Y'all remember that, right? And so a grant came to the elected officials in her hood, but it was way out of her league, because even for my hood, one got 3 million, one got $1 million. I ain't coming to them asking for $1 million, but I'm trying to see what y'all got on the 100K, 1,000 that we can distribute out. So that's what she did. Peaches came on, she joined the mentorship. We had a call. Remember I said you get a bonus call. So we had a call. We actually did our call here on the live. I was asking her questions about her business. And then after our call, that grant came to her state. It trickled down to her city. She didn't qualify for the larger grants, but she said she had the confidence after our call to call her city. I don't know if she called City Hall or whatever, but she said, hey, this is what the big state is doing. This is what the other cities are doing. I'm the only restaurant still standing in our community. And I want to keep the culture of soul food and our culture of rebuilding our hood since COVID. I want to keep that going. I want to keep it alive. What can y'all do for me? She found a loophole. They didn't even really put out a grant like that, but they helped her find the money. They sent her $9,500 for her restaurant to help preserve the integrity, restore the neighborhood. Y'all hear that community impact? Preserve culture. And so she said she bought a new fridge freezer combo for her kitchen. No more residential refrigerator. So she got a new freezer fridge combo for her restaurant. She said she bought some new ribs and some new brisket and brought some pantry items like non-perishables. And she was so excited that she had that 9.5K to pad her earnings for her business, because shortly after she had to step away from the business for a little bit for some family grief and dealing with some losses in her family and her friends' immediate circle. And so that grant kept her doors open. it kept her from losing money and having to reinvest it. She had other people's money. So hopefully that answers your question. If not, inspire you to see what's available. There are grants that are coming to states, to cities. Sometimes grants are also filtered into like community programs. Like here in Atlanta, we have like the Urban League, or we have the Small Business Development Centers. We have different types of little organizations that are set aside just for entrepreneurs. And they may get some of that funding as well. And so it may not be a check to you directly. It may be invested in these types of programs that can still benefit you to help you get your business more prepared to pitch for funding, to apply for funding on a larger level. Some of these programs also may give you stipends at the end. So that's what our program next year is in partnership with Google. They're funding our event for me going through their program to help me put this event on, and it's my social impact event. So that's how this is working in some of the grant spaces, and you just have to be prepared. So it's not about begging and got a handout. It's about knowing you have a good business idea. You got social impact. You want to help others. Here's your plan. Now, what the money, and the money is easy to find. I give you a list of 13 places to find grant funding. Tay is a master at this. She has found money. I could not have told her where to go to find it. I could just tell you where to look category wise, but I don't have specific names in your neighborhood, but you can get those. And she's been doing that left and right. She has won $20,000, over 20,000 just this year. And so she's finding like money all over the place. And I'm like, girl, you have been on it. So she's one of our case studies for what it looks like to consistently apply for grants. Okay. So don't wait for a handout. Funding is available, and I can teach you how to get it. And that's what you get when you join us in the mentorship over at www.blackwomeningrants.com. Lala says, for me, it's definitely two types of grants, starter and growth was her takeaway, her aha, and that you need to apply for the correct one. Amen. Save yourself some time and frustration. She said, if you have a business that's active, but you haven't used it, but you want to start, is that a growth or startup? If you got a business that's not active, it's going to depend on several things. How much did you make in the business when it was active? How long have you had the business? How long has it not been active? Those are some of the base questions. And you may just have to go back to startup to revamp it, because why wasn't it active? Most of the time when a business is not active, it's because it's not making money. If it's not making money, you probably got to rethink some things like how you're making money in your business. If you got to rethink some things, that means you're starting over. That means you're now a startup, even if you've been doing this for 30 years. But if you ain't made money in 29, then you a startup. Okay, so that's kind of how most grants work, but they all will give the details of what they're expecting in their terms and conditions, their rules, restrictions, and regulations, their official rules to play their game. Grants are a game. That's why we have winners. And that's why we have those of us who learn from the winners and go win ourselves, and yeah, I teach you how to compete. And they are becoming more competitive. That's why I advise you guys to join the community, join the mentorship, be amongst the community of winners, Black women who are winning this money for their business. I got so many other stories about our grant winners. They're all interviewed in our mentorship program. You can watch their videos and listen. They're also in the book, Black Women in Grants, that I've written, breaking down their stories of success, how they found the grant, what they said on the application, how you can go apply for funding as well, and following their footsteps. Any final questions before I go? Again, the website is blackwomeningrants.com. It is $197 to come join me for a full year. One-time payment, year-long access. There's Klarna, Afterpay, and Affirm if you need it. The scholarship spots are on a first-come, first-served basis. And then our bonuses are only available during tonight's live, okay? So I just want to make sure that I share that with you guys and answer any questions you have. If you're over at blackwomeningrants.com trying to get logged into the mentorship portal and you need me to wait on you because you're registering, just put wait in the chat and I'll wait and hang out here a little bit with you to make sure you get logged in, because what you're going to see pop up once you register is that second page that will have you request access to join us in the learning portal, where the videos are, the books are, the list of grants with over $1.2 million are, the interviews with our grant winners, and other bonuses, like other programs you can get into absolutely free because you're with me. Okay. So I send you those links are already there, plus how to book your bonus calls, etc. Whit says one more question, please. Go ahead. I got you. YouTube, any final questions before we go? I usually log off with y'all first because I always forget I'm recording. So we did good tonight. I didn't teach for 2 hours again on mute. Thank y'all for the conversation. Put any final questions you have. I'll also put in our website in the chat. It's www.blackwomenIngrants.com. Go claim your scholarship spot. If you do it while I'm live, you get our bonuses. Again, you won't see the bonuses on the website. They're only available during the live. K-Wit, what's your question? And then we'll go ahead and wrap up, okay? Rosa, okay, let's see. Let me find your email here. And I'll send this before I go to make sure you get logged back in. Rosa, let me see. It's not finding the email that you just emailed me from. Do you remember what email? Hold on, let me look in my database real quick. Kaywood says, how would you suggest that I apply for grants that are specifically to my business, which is fashion? It depends on what area of fashion. So tell me more about what area of fashion you're in. Okay, Rosa, I see that you joined us on the 2nd. Okay, it looks like you may have 2 email addresses. So hold on one second. Kaywood, it also depends on how long you've been in fashion. I know there are some programs that have grant funding behind them to where they'll teach you more about the industry, again, so that you can build yourself up in the industry. Rosalie, August 2nd. Okay, so you've been in the program a month. It's showing your email. You may not have ever logged in. Let me just send you the original login email. Did you ever log in and get access to the program, Rosa? Let me know. Because usually it'll show where I sent you the login, but it's not pulling it up, so you may not have gotten it. But that's what pops up on that second page. That's why I tell y'all to watch out for that second page once you register, because that has all your login information, what to request access. But I'm resending you the email as we speak. And then Kaywood, let me know how long you've been in fashion. What is your business in fashion? Because what I've been seeing for grants fashion-wise lately has been like accelerator programs. Remember I said you got a business, you've started, you need to be applying for growth grants. Businesses that have started as well apply for what's known as accelerator programs, where they have coaching and mentorship and advisors and trainers built into these programs, and it's covered by a grant. Rosalie, I just emailed you. Let me know you got it, okay? That has all your login information, so you can always refer back to that email to get logged back in. Any questions, ahas, takeaways? Y'all let me know. And YouTube, we're going away in just a few moments. So I was trying to give y'all a chance to ask me any more questions that you have. Well, you've been in fashion for 7 years. So yeah, it just depends on what you need the grant for. So again, go back to that community impact. How are you incorporating fashion? So let me use, well, this is kind of similar. So we have a mentee. Her name is Ashley Rankin. She has a skincare line. And so I introduced her to a grant from L'Oreal for $10,000, and she won it. And so, hey, Tay, we about to go, girl. We were just talking about you. And so she won the $10,000 based on what I taught her to say on the applications, but also because of her, right, you already know social impact. Leave me alone. But because of her social impact, Ashley's is she teaches high school girls self-care. So she goes and she gives back. She teaches them about skincare and resting, so you don't get burnt out or overwhelmed from the stress of school and life and your skin. You can like break out in hives and stuff. That's what happened to her. She has a biology background, and so she built her own skincare line, and L'Oreal funded $10,000 of it. And then she went through one of their training programs. So that's what funding looks like in that world. But I used her because L'Oreal had a bucket of funding for $400,000. They were looking for 40 Black-owned, what do you call them? Like, it's fashion, but it's more beauty So skincare, hair care, aesthetics, nails, you name it. They were looking for 40 Black-owned businesses to give $10,000 to. And so that plus Ashley has been involved with other programs as well that are into fashion and money in the beauty industry. All of that goes hand in hand. So that's why I brought her up. So it depends on what you need the funding for. So her social impact is working with the girls. That's what she wins her money for. And that's what she uses a portion of her proceeds to get back to. Got it? So I am May. Hey girl, I didn't see your question. Post it real quick. Let me answer it. Sometimes TikTok grays out y'all's questions and I don't know. It's in a queue waiting for me to approve it. But if you ask it again, I can help you real quick. K-Wit, hopefully that helped. I would need to know more about your business. So when you join us in the mentorship program, if you do it tonight, you'll get that bonus call and you and I can sit and talk in detail about your business, exactly why you should be applying for grants, where you should be looking, and how to win those grants, okay? YouTube, final call for questions before I go. Let me know. I try to spend like an hour, maybe an hour and a half on here with y'all if it gets good. But we're about to wrap it up. Any final questions, YouTube? Again, the website is blackwomeningrants.com, where to go claim your scholarship price to come join us. Get your bonuses by joining us during this live. You got about 4 minutes. Other than that, that's all I got, y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out. Make sure you follow this page, subscribe to this channel, all the things. Hopefully you'll get the notification to join us for our next live. I'm usually live on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. The time is up in the air. It's whenever I wake up, literally, either from a nap or for the third time today. I mean, I don't know. But before the sun go down, I try to be on here with y'all. Okay, so just know at some point on a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, you can usually catch me. But I've also been playing around with Saturdays. I love a good Saturday class, so that's why I'm here with y'all as well. Any final questions on TikTok, YouTube? I am signing out now. Thank y'all for hanging out. Again, Klarna Afterpay and Affirm is available, Lala, if you need it. I know it says 0% interest, but I think the smallest amount that I've seen somebody come join us for in the mentorship was like $13. Worked it out with Klarna or Afterpay, however that works. I'm very new to that world, but I wanted to make sure it's an option. The scholarship price is increasing very soon, and the opportunity to join us under a scholarship is getting closer and closer to going away. So I share all of that because our payment arrangement options are available right now. I don't hold spots. I don't promise the same pricing, at any time. So that's just heads up, 7up. All right, YouTube, I am out. Thank y'all for hanging out. If y'all want to find me, we're also on TikTok. Black Women in Grants on TikTok, all one word, 84,000 of us there. So check the numbers before you join. I will see y'all next time, YouTube. Bye. All right, Facebook, you